Welcome to Jack's Corner. We're going to do a clinic today on TarPaper roofs, on how to paint them, weather them, actually install them. We're going to do them in 3 different colors. I'm going to show you how to do green, red, and black or gray. I'm going to do one in gray today, and I'm going to show you how we're going to put it together and what we're going to use, and let's get started. Well, the first thing I'm going to show you is how I paint the TarPaper. These are Bar Mills TarPaper. They have the nail holes in them. They're got pre-stick on the back, so they just have to be stuck down once you get them painted and the way you want them. And the easiest way I found to paint them to make them look good is, if I'm going to use my gray, I'm going to use it's a country gray apple barrel acrylic paint. I'm going to shake it up, and what I'm going to do when I paint this, I'm not going to paint it as a smooth thing. I'm going to take it, I'm going to dab my brush, and I'm going to kind of streak it like this. I'm just going to keep moving it along. It doesn't matter if it has dark and light spots. I want to streak it so some of the white shows through, like this. I'm just going to pull it down this way. That's all we're going to do. That's how I'm going to do it. No big deal. If it's got clumps here and there, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to streak it like this so it's a light gray and I got white showing through, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on the top so I don't spill it. You can also do it in green, this is a vineyard green apple barrel, and I can do it in red, which is barn red. So when I'm done, it's going to look like this. These darker lines don't matter because when I peel these off, they're not going to line up, so it's just going to look like a darker space. So here's one I did very quickly, which has a red, a black, and a green, and this is the gray. So this is the easy way to do it. So once you're done and you got this all done, the next thing you're going to do is let it dry for a good period of time, because it is water-based paint and you want to let the paper absorb the paint and dry up completely. The other thing I did is I wanted to have a little bit of shingles showing through under my TarPaper. So I did the same basically thing with our shingle sheet, which is shake shingles, and we'll pull those off row by row, a couple at a time. And what we did, you can see it right here on the corner, is that we've just put in a little section of shingles with our TarPaper, and then we'll show you how we're going to do that. Now here's a quick hint. When you put your roofs on your building, you want to paint around the perimeter the color of your trim, which would be up under the eaves. So when you put this on the building, you don't have to try and reach up underneath and paint it. You get it all painted. So that's the first step I would do on the building. The next is I would put my guidelines on. And with our TarPaper, the most of the lines all the way up are 2 feet apart, scale feet, 2 scale feet apart. And that way I can go all the way to the top, and it keeps my lines straight across my roof so they don't go tipped this way or that way. They don't have to be right on the line, but sometimes it works really well if you can keep them on the line. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how do we install our shingles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a row of shingles, and the easy way to do it is to just pick up the end of it. Ooh, I'll get it here. Sometimes there we go. And I'm going to peel it like this. These have nail holes, you can see it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually tear it like that. Can you see that? All right, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up with my line. I don't know if you can see that. Line up my line. My hand's in the way. I did this. And I'm going to rub it down. See how it comes over on shingles? Yeah. And then I'm going to take another one. And look at my, ooh. I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to tear it a little differently. I'm going to make it shorter. Now I'll make it longer. Like that. And then I'm going to take that one, and we're going to do it right here. Same thing on the lines. And I'm just going to rub it down. I'm going to do one more, and then we'll go from there. We'll do what we do, how we do the clean it up and get it ready. So I'm going to do one more, and this will be a regular straight one. So we're going to do that just this way. I'm sorry about that. I can't see it because of the lines here. And that gives me my lines. Now I'm going to flip it over, and with a nice new sharp blade, this is going to be hard because I put the thing on it. I don't know if you could see that. I'm going to take and I'm going to cut right along the edge of the roof, and that's it. And that I'm just going to kind of use my finger to rub it down. So that's basically what we did. Now I want a couple of patches on this roof, so I can take some of my cutoffs and I can just stick them on like that. And if I want it a little different, I can cut these into little square, and I can stick it on like that. It's kind of hard to see now because we haven't brought it out. This is my tool that I made, which is a little dowel and a common pin. And what I can do is I can go back and I can put nail holes all the way around my patches. And that's all you need to do. So that's what you would do. I actually added the little vent, and I'll talk about that. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to highlight the shingles with some nice weathering. We're going to use some black pan pastels. Normally I would have this shingled all the way to the top of the roof, and I would start from the top and work down. But for this purpose today, we're just going to do it from this section down. So I'm going to put some pan pastels on my brush. I got a nice little stiff short brush. So that's all I need, and we'll show you how to do that right now. All right, next we're going to take our pan pastels, a little black, and I'm going to tap my brush on it, but I'm going to also tap on the paper so I don't get too much. And basically what I'm going to do is tap it along the line, one of the lines that separate each row. Don't get too much on. You don't need a lot. Just a little bit. Just like that. Looks kind of funny now, but we'll get it straight when we're done. Yeah. On the TarPaper roofs, I'm using the pan pastels instead of ink and alcohol like I used on these slate shingles. So what I've done now is I've just gone around my patches. So this is where the magic does. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to draw it down like this. Straight across. I'm going to take all that stuff and I'm going to move it down. Just like that. Down, just like it would have dripped. Just let it work its way down. Just like that. If you want to highlight something, go back and just give it a little brush. You don't need a lot. You're just going to weather up the roof a little bit. Just like that. And then when you're done, give it a little blow. And then start again. Just like that. And again, I'm going to move, it's hard to work it. We're going to pull these down just like this. It can be a little irregular. I got a little much on that bottom one, but that's all right. You can always work it back in a little bit. You want to take a little bit more and put it right here. We'll soot it up a little bit right so it's running off this. All right. So you can see what we've done here. Now the last step I do, I'll show you that in a minute. It's a really weird step. I'm going to try a little bit of white. Or a little bit of, I don't even know if it's really white. I'm going to pull it down and see if I can lighten it just a little bit. Get some streaks in it. You can use a little brown too if you like. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to add some rust lines, and this is a weathering powder. I think it was ours, but there's a bunch of them out there now you can use. And what I'm going to use my ink and alcohol. I'm going to dip a very fine brush into it, and I'm going to bring it over here onto the paper, and I'm going to make like a paste. A very fine paste. So what I can do is come back over here, and with this I can make little bitty lines. It's a little thick, but I'll show you how to fix it. I'm going to wash it down. I'll lighten it up. It'll get much lighter than that. So that's how I'm going to run my rust lines. It's the same way I did my detail part. So the last process in this whole thing, put my covers on so I don't spill things, is white acrylic paint. I'm going to take it, clean off my Post-it note, which I use as a tab, and I'm going to do a nice flat brush. I'm going to dip it in, and I'm going to get 90% of all my paint off it. Check it on, see how much I got. And I'm going to kind of drag it up. I need more paint. Just lightly catch the tops of things. I'm gonna do my If you have to, you can just clean it up a little bit with your finger if you want. But by rubbing it, now that you've got most of it off, I can get a little bit lighter in places. And basically, we're done. This was kind of a quick one, but as you look, this one's got a big patch on it. So I could actually add a roof on top of a roof here and have no problem. Now, this can be done with multiple colors because I have a green, I have a red and a black, and then you can see I've added some little bits of brown on my shakes, and I've added some corrugated metal over the top and battens. So those are all the things you can put on a tar paper roof and make it look really interesting, along with any kind of vent or pipe or thing like that that comes through the roof. So that's on tar paper, and thanks for coming. We'll see you again.